What if I told you her silence isn't strength, but fear? What if I told you that right now, while you're wondering whether she's moved on? She's sitting with that exact same uncertainty, desperately waiting to see if you'll break first. You've been told she doesn't care, you've been told to move on. But what if that's the trap? What if her silence isn't confidence, it's calculation? It's her waiting, watching, testing. Not because she's over you, but because she wants to see if you're still trapped in her game. And the moment you slip, the moment you reach out, the moment you show her you still care, you hand her all the power. But today, that ends. If you're watching this, it means you're done being manipulated. You're done wasting your energy on someone who feeds off your reaction. You're done giving your power away to someone who doesn't deserve it. From this moment forward, you're going to learn how silence, pure, deliberate, unshakable silence becomes the most devastating move you'll ever make. This is how you flip the script. This is how you stop being the one who chases and start being the one who chooses. This is how you shift everything, your energy, your value, your entire identity. And this isn't just about women. This is about life. This is about control, about power, about commanding respect without ever having to raise your voice. It all comes down to one thing: how you react when someone tries to test you. So sit up, breathe deep, lock in. Because by the end of this video, you'll never chase anyone again. And before we begin, I want you to type it in the comments right now. Let the world hear it. Let yourself believe it. Say it, I will never chase again. Let's get into it. Number 1, the power shift. Silence is the ultimate move. She expects you to react. That's the first play in her game. She pulls back. She goes cold. She delays her replies. She disappears, slowly, subtly. No more good morning texts. No more making plans. Suddenly, she's too busy, too distracted, too distant. But at the same time, she makes sure you notice. She watches your stories. She posts pictures where she looks amazing, out with friends, laughing, living. She wants you to see her. She wants you to feel her absence. She's not gone. She's performing the perfect silence. A silence designed to trigger something in you to make you wonder what went wrong, to make you panic. And most men do. They slip. They ask, "What's wrong?" They send another text. They try to fix it. And just like that, she wins. Because now she knows she still has you. You're still emotionally invested and you're still chasing. And the more she sees it, the less she respects you. The more you try, the less she values you. This is the brutal truth. A woman only plays games with a man she hasn't decided on. A man she's still testing. A man she doesn't fully respect. She wants to see if you need her validation to feel whole. And the second you prove that you do, she pulls away completely. Not slowly this time, she runs. Because now she knows that her attention is your lifeline. That, without it, you fall apart. And no woman chases a man who falls apart. They chase the man who doesn't care if she stays or goes. The man who keeps moving forward, with or without her. The man who doesn't flinch when she goes quiet. That's the kind of man who breaks the game. And if she thinks she's got you figured out, if she expects you to react, to beg, to plead, then your silence is the one thing she never sees coming. The absence of your reaction. That's what shakes her. That's what flips the balance. Suddenly, doubt creeps in. Suddenly, she's not so sure anymore. Because if you're not chasing her, if you're not crumbling under the weight of her silence, maybe you're not who she thought you were. Maybe you're stronger. Maybe you've moved on, and that thought, that tiny seed of uncertainty, it changes everything. It chips away at her confidence. It makes her wonder, did I lose him? Did I misjudge him? Was he the kind of man I should have kept? And the deeper the doubt gets, the more power you take back. But most men never make it this far. They fold, they reach out, they chase, they apologize for things they didn't even do. And she sees it, she expects it, and once she confirms it, she disappears again. Because now she knows she's still the one in control. That's why silence is your greatest weapon. It's not about revenge, it's not about manipulation, it's about clarity. It's about showing, not saying, that her games don't move you, that your self-worth isn't tied to her attention, that no matter what she does, you're still centered, still grounded, still you, and that is power. Number 2, she expects you to react. Don't give her what she wants. She's not texting you good morning anymore. She's not making plans. Suddenly, every message you send is left on read. She used to laugh at your jokes. Now there's silence. And yet, she still watches your stories. She still likes your posts. She's still there, just far enough to be seen, but never close enough to hold. Why? Because she's waiting. Waiting to see how much you'll tolerate. Waiting to see if you'll crack. Waiting to see if she can still pull you in without giving you anything. That's the game. That's the trap. And most men fall right into it. They start checking their phone every 5 minutes, rereading the last conversation, wondering if they said something wrong. They replay every detail in their head, desperate to find the moment she changed. Then, panic sets in. What if she's losing interest? What if I don't do something right now, she'll be gone forever, and that fear pushes them to act. They send another text, then another. They double text. They triple text. They ask if she's okay. They apologize for things they didn't even do. They try to fix it. But the more they try, the faster she pulls away. Because in her eyes, that effort isn't romantic. It's weakness. It's proof. Proof that she still has the upper hand. That her absence affects you. That your emotional state depends on her presence. And once she sees that, once she knows you're still waiting, she stops wondering about you altogether. Because now, she's confirmed what she needed to know. You're still chasing, you're still invested, you're still under her spell. And that makes you predictable, and predictable is boring. Understand this, a woman only plays these games with a man she's unsure about. A man who hasn't made her feel secure. A man she doesn't fully respect. Because when a woman respects a man, she doesn't test him, she follows him. But when she doesn't, she starts pushing boundaries. She pulls back just to see what you'll do. She delays her reply to see if you'll break. She becomes distant not because she's busy, but because she wants to see how quickly you'll come running. And the second you do, she knows you're not the man she hoped you were. Because the man she dreams about doesn't chase. He doesn't panic. He doesn't lose sleep wondering why she went cold. He sees the silence and returns it. He sees the delay and takes his time. He doesn't beg. He doesn't question. He doesn't crumble. That man is rare. That man is valuable. That man makes her rethink everything. But the average man reacts. And the moment he does, he tells her everything she needs to know. That he still needs her. That he's still emotionally dependent. That his confidence is an illusion, easily shattered by a woman pulling back. And once she sees that she's gone, not physically, not yet, but mentally, emotionally, she's already checked out. Because now, you've shown her that your world still revolves around hers. And no woman wants to be the center of a weak man's world. She wants to orbit a man who already has one. So the next time she pulls away, don't flinch, don't chase, don't ask what's wrong. Don't try to prove your worth to someone who's testing it for sport. Instead, do the one thing that terrifies her, stay silent. Because the man who doesn't react is the man she can't control. And when she can't control you, she has no choice but to respect you. Number 3, doubt is your weapon. Let her question everything. Silence isn't just the absence of noise, it's a mirror. And when you hold that mirror up to someone who's used to control, who's used to attention, who's used to being chased, it makes them look inward. And what they find isn't always pretty. At first, she feels confident. She thinks she's seen this movie before. She pulls back. You come running. She delays her response. You double text, you crumble, and she wins. But this time, something's different. You don't text. You don't react. You don't try to pull her back. And that silence starts to eat at her. At first, it's subtle. A flicker of thought. Why hasn't he reached out? She brushes it off, tells herself you're just trying to play it cool. But the hours stretch into days, and that flicker grows. Is he over me? The thought tightens in her chest. Suddenly, she's refreshing her feed to see if you've posted, scrolling through your old photos, checking if you've liked someone else's story. The curiosity morphs into tension. Tension becomes discomfort. Discomfort becomes fear. Did I lose him? That question echoes. And unlike you, who once waited by your phone, wondering if she cared now, she's the one drowning in uncertainty. And here's the truth she didn't expect: she's not in control anymore. Because control only exists when there's a reaction. But when you give her nothing, no words, no energy, not even a glance, she's left with something far more powerful than rejection. She's left with doubt. And doubt is a slow poison. It doesn't hit all at once. It drips one unanswered moment at a time. It creeps into her mind when she's alone. It stirs when she sees your name pop up, but no message follows. It burns when her friends, the ones who told her he'll come back, start to go silent too. Doubt is what makes her question every assumption she had about you. She thought you were like the others. She thought she could pull back, throw you a few tests, and you'd jump. But now she doesn't know. Maybe you're done. Maybe you've moved on. Maybe she made a mistake. And that feeling of possibly losing something valuable without realizing it starts to twist inside her. She replays your last conversation. She analyzes every word, not because she's curious, but because she's searching. Searching for the moment she lost her grip on you. She starts liking your old photos, sending you small signals, a vague message, a casual emoji. Maybe even a "this reminded me of you." But it's not honesty. It's not vulnerability. It's bait. She wants to see if you're still there, if she still matters, if she can still make you move. And most men right here, they break. They see that breadcrumb and take it as proof. She's coming back. They reply too quickly. They open up again. They fall back into her rhythm. And in that moment, she gets her answer. She still has you. And just like that, she's gone again. Because it was never about missing you. It was about checking if you were still an option. She wasn't chasing connection. She was chasing confirmation. That she still had control. That she still had value. But if you stay silent, if you hold the line, if you don't bite when she baits the hook, that's when the real shift happens. Because now, she doesn't know. She doesn't know if she still matters to you. She doesn't know if you've let go. She doesn't know if someone else has taken her place. And that unknown, that's what drives her crazy. Because the human mind can handle almost anything except uncertainty. It's why we refresh notifications, why we can't stop thinking about open endings, why cliffhangers torture us. And now, she's living in one. Because you didn't give her closure. You didn't beg. You didn't chase. You just vanished. And in that vacuum, her confidence starts to erode. Because the longer your silence continues, the louder her questions become. She thought she had all the time in the world. She thought you'd always be there. But now she's not so sure. And that uncertainty becomes the one thing she can't escape. Number 4, she will try to regain control. Stay silent. She doesn't like this. Not one bit. She doesn't like the silence. She doesn't like the shift in power. She doesn't like not knowing what's going on in your mind, because for the first time, she's no longer in control. You've gone silent. You've stopped reacting. You've vanished from her emotional radar. And now, the rules of the game have changed. You see, she never expected this. She expected distance to make you chase. She expected you to prove your worth. She expected her pulling back would trigger your desperation. That was her plan. Withdraw affection, create uncertainty, and watch you scramble to win her back. But that plan failed because you didn't move. You didn't reach out. You didn't try to explain yourself or beg for clarity. You gave her the one thing she never prepared for: uncertainty. And uncertainty is the one emotion she can't stand. It eats at her confidence. It pokes holes in her ego. It makes her question everything she assumed about you. Now she's wondering, did I go too far? Did I misread him? Is he gone for good? And that thought, it doesn't just bother her. It terrifies her. Because in her mind, she thought she had more time. She thought she could string you along a little longer. Test the waters. Keep you close enough to feel wanted, but far enough to stay in control. But now, with every hour that passes, she feels it slipping. Your attention, your energy, your presence, it's disappearing. And when people lose something they thought they owned, they panic. But here's the catch. She won't show it. She won't admit she's scared. She won't send a long, emotional text confessing she messed up. That would mean surrender. That would mean giving up control. So instead, she'll test you. She'll do the bare minimum, just enough to get a reaction. She'll view your stories again, like an old picture. Send you a vague message, something simple, safe. Hey, hope you're doing well. Or maybe, just saw something that reminded me of you. It's not real vulnerability. It's not an apology. It's bait. She wants to see if the door's still open, if you'll take the bait, if you'll break the silence, if you'll prove you're still emotionally available. And the weak man. He sees that text, and his heart jumps. He smiles. He thinks this is it. The moment she realized what she lost, the moment she comes back, he replies fast, eager, too eager. He pours out his heart. He thinks he's won. But the second she sees that instant reply, her doubt disappears. Her confidence returns. Because now, she knows. She still has power. She never really lost him. She was never in danger of losing him. And just like that, she's gone again. Because it was never about missing you. It was never about rebuilding. It was about control, about checking if you were still an option. But you're not going to fall for that. You won't reply. You won't feed her ego. You won't reward breadcrumbs with full attention. Because now, you see the pattern. You see the test. And you refuse to play. And when you don't respond, when you leave her message unread, when you stay silent, that's when it truly hits her. The panic goes deeper. Because now, she has no answer. No confirmation. No idea where she stands with you. She starts spiraling, so she tries again. This time, she turns it up. Another message. A little longer. Maybe she brings up a memory she knows will tug at your heart. Or she posts something indirect, something designed to trigger you emotionally. Maybe she even starts flirting with other guys, just to see if you'll react. but you don't. And that, right there, is where you win. Because the moment you stop reacting, the moment she can't control your emotions anymore, you become a mystery. You become unpredictable. You become dangerous in the most powerful way. And here's what makes it even more real if she never truly valued you. If she was never really invested, she'll walk away, quietly. She won't fight, because she was never yours to begin with. She just liked knowing she could have you. But if she regrets it, truly regrets it, she won't play games. She won't send vague texts. She won't post stories hoping you'll notice. She'll show up, clearly, directly. She'll reach out with intention. She'll say what she never said. She'll fight the way you once did. And when that moment comes, if it ever comes, here's the truth. You'll be in control, not to manipulate, not to punish, but because you earned it, you held the line, you didn't flinch, and now, it's not about whether she wants you back, it's about whether you even want her anymore. Number 5, emotional detachment, becoming untouchable. Everything changes the moment you detach, not when you pretend, not when you play it cool, but when you truly let go, when you stop needing a response, when you stop craving attention, when you stop seeking her validation to feel like a man. That's the moment you step into a version of yourself that most people will never meet, because emotional detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's the realization that your peace matters more than someone else's inconsistency. It's the quiet confidence of knowing that no matter who stays or who leaves, you remain whole. And the moment you truly understand that, you become untouchable. Detachment is the highest form of power, not because it makes you unreachable, but because it makes you unshakable. You're no longer at the mercy of her moods. Her silence doesn't move you. Her games don't shake you. Her approval no longer necessary. You've stepped out of her orbit and into your own. That's what separates the man who leads from the man who follows. Because without detachment, you'll always be reactive. You'll always be the one pacing the room, refreshing your inbox, wondering why she stopped texting. You'll always be the one stuck in your head, reanalyzing every word, hoping she still cares. Meanwhile, she's out living her life unbothered, unchecked, and unbent. Because she never needed you the way you thought you needed her. And that's where most men suffer. They don't just lose the woman, they lose themselves chasing her. But you're different now. You've stopped playing that game. You're not chasing, you're not proving, you're not begging for another chance. You're walking forward with purpose, with presence, with power. You've stopped checking your phone every 5 minutes. You've stopped replaying old memories. You've stopped giving energy to a connection that gave you nothing in return. And now, she feels it. She feels the silence. She feels the absence. She feels the gap that you used to fill. Because your detachment isn't just a lack of contact, it's a shift in energy. It tells her without words, I don't need you to feel whole. I don't need you to see my worth. I already know who I am. And that kind of certainty, that kind of emotional control, it's rare. It's magnetic. It's something she doesn't forget. Because while she's still posting pictures hoping someone will notice, while she's still throwing breadcrumbs hoping someone bites, while she's still entertaining men who chase her just to feel seen, you've already moved on. Not just physically, emotionally, spiritually, you're leveling up, hitting the gym, building your craft, strengthening your mind. You're investing in yourself in ways she never even saw. And the version of you that she thought she knew, he's gone, replaced by a man she'll never have access to again. Not because you hate her, not because you're angry, but because you outgrew her. And now she's left wondering, Not why you walked away, but how she didn't recognize your value until it was too late. That's the power of detachment. It doesn't scream. It doesn't chase. It doesn't explain. It simply exits with grace, with peace, and with dignity intact. Most men never reach this point. They stay trapped in loops, chasing, reacting, hoping, always waiting for someone else to tell them they're good enough. But the moment you stop waiting for her to return, the moment you stop needing her to validate you, is the moment you reclaim every ounce of power you thought you lost. You become a man who no longer begs to be chosen. You become the one who chooses. And here's the most beautiful part. By the time she realizes what she lost, by the time she's ready to admit she was wrong, by the time her pride finally breaks, you won't even care anymore. Because the prize was never her attention. The real prize was the man you became when you stopped needing it. So if you're ready to become that man, if you're ready to rise, to lead, to live life on your own terms, then let the world know. Say it out loud. Type it in the comments. Claim it. I am untouchable. Say it like you mean it, because from this moment forward, that's exactly who you are.